Cool.
And here we are. We're so here.
Hey guys, what's up, Nima?
What up, Remy?
Hi everyone, I'm Remy.
I'm Nima.
Okay, now we got that out
We're
of
just
the way.
like
So thanks for our subscribers from our a few episodes of Leftovers. Thank you so much for supporting us. I don't know what else to say. This is good.
yeah, and that's a wrap. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
We're dead. Oh wait, we forgot we gotta speak about something.
Oh yeah, this is episode 2 of our House of Cards season 5 recap. We're late, so we don't know if this is gonna get any views at all, but it's practice for us, and we're gonna keep it at it to see what people think, how we should change, how we can improve. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep doing this every episode.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with Netflix. So this is kind of us doing it, and we're gonna keep this one pretty short.
Yes.
But chapter 54 of this ongoing drama called House of Cards.
Did you check if it's episode 54? Because I typed that into the title of
No,
our
I
show.
didn't. I assumed you got it right the first time around, Nima.
You
So the
don't-
title we might have gotten the title wrong.
Yeah,
Great.
don't ever assume. But it's okay. We can just change it once we're done live.
Yeah. So,
So, you go first.
no, you go first.
I like this episode a lot more than I like episode 1, even
Yeah,
though
totally.
I'm beyond exhausted, so I'm barely thinking clearly, but I liked it a lot. And the cinematography in this episode was some of the most gorgeous cinematography in all of House of Cards. There was a lot of subtle
Why?
shots
What do you
that
say
were
that?
like in the traditional, like straight up, very straight lines, rectangular shots that are not even angled, that were perfectly lit. And even like the shot that took me almost by surprise was when Claire was putting on the gas mask in the metro.
Yeah, that was cool.
That whole sequence, and not even the whole sequence, the whole episode seemed like somebody I don't know who directed this episode. I don't know who the director of cinematography is either, but it seemed like somebody who was a big fan of David Fincher's style guide that they had set in season 1. Because unlike many of the other episodes, this was straight, stunning cinematography, just like David Fincher would do. So I'm
That's
impressed.
cool. I noticed it was beautiful as usual, but I definitely did not see it the way you did. I'm more trying to understand the story and what their plot is, you know.
Speaking of the plot, some confusing things. What's with this voter suppression thing? I didn't understand it fully.
Me neither.
Like
That's a wrap.
right. Frank is a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah, I know.
one of the governor's staff members was making a point. When you do voter suppression, it usually impacts Democrats more, and they were hinting at they're trying to do voter suppression towards white people, which are usually
Yeah.
Republican. But how is that even possible? I don't understand how putting military at the voting places is voter suppression towards white people.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand the part why, the mayor that was going to be late to the airport, he
governor.
didn't want to. Yeah, one of the governor, sorry, when they were in the car. And then at the same time, there was the whole, hacking happening,
The
which kind of
cyber attack,
screwed everything up. I wish they explained that a little more, but I don't know.
So the hacking thing, that was probably the biggest event in this whole episode.
Well, there was
the
a few.
point?
There was also Tim.
Tim dying.
Yeah.
We think he's dead. He could be alive.
Yeah, he could be alive.
But when it comes to the hacking thing, what was the underlying reason? He was trying to stop the auditors from finding what? And how did the hack help with that?
I think he deleted files that the auditors, that group of women doing this, was probably about to uncover.
Right. I mean, we see him delete files, but didn't the president tell him specifically not to delete files, just hide his tracks? But I mean, he definitely,
I don't
did
know, maybe.
click yes on delete files. So you're not wrong.
He
about that.
definitely deleted files, and I think the president took that as an opportunity to time it himself to his own liking, so that it happens at the same time this guy is in this. Gosh, I wish I knew more terms about politics.
What are you trying to say? Like,
So the previous vice president is getting grilled by the panel.
Right, the testimony at the congressional testimony, whatever it is that he was going through. Right.
Yeah, it seems like the president got all this to happen at the same time for
Right.
his benefit, and he did. Everything did happen at the same time because he needed that ICO cyber attack in order to show the world that, hey, yeah, we need to go to war. And at the same time, it's like he planned everything. How?
Right.
That's when it's like a little too much, the planning. Like
I
we don't.
love it when the planning
Yeah.
is too much. This is why House of Cards is awesome for me. When it's like this crazy evil dictator that's just running everything in the most
I
incredible
loved
way.
his monologue at the beginning when
Yes.
he finally does it for a long time, and then he does it again with the fire, and it's like weird, but
You're
kind of
talking about
intimate.
you're talking about the governor's lunch thing that
Yeah.
he actually walks around the people. That's probably the coolest monologue we've had.
Dude, he takes the pen out, puts it back with that looking. That
Uh-huh.
must be hard as an actor.
Every
then
one of
just
them. If
moves
you
on.
see the whole people that are, everybody's looking at where Frank used to be, and
Right, but-
some of them are reacting properly, some of them aren't. But that's okay.
Yeah, did you notice the lady?
The Arizona governor.
Yeah, she smiled, but maybe she was just smiling at because he's kind of doing a narrated thing for us, but he's also talking to them at the same time.
Correct.
So that might have been done on purpose. Because
Right.
otherwise, actually, maybe not. Because it's a long shot, hard to get for an actor, and maybe they were like, "It's okay if she messed up."
It could be, but at the same time, maybe she didn't mess up at all because she smiles and does the head nod thing when he's talking about her as the governor or whatever from Arizona.
Yeah,
And just like you're talking about, this could be a mix of a monologue versus his actual talk to them.
Yeah.
In which case, she would be reacting properly.
yes,
to
but
her
everyone
introduction.
else is like stone cold.
Is everybody else supposed to be
Not moving.
frozen?
I don't know.
I didn't
seemed-
get that. I didn't get that.
It looked
impression.
like some of them were.
Right.
So-
I kind of thought that, but at the same time, I just immediately brushed that thought aside that maybe just some people listen without moving too much.
Yeah, I mean that too. For anybody joining us right now, if you made it that far, thank you very much. Hope you liked it. There's a message that we'd like to tell you is that if you're looking for a very serious review of shows like this one, this is a pretty serious show. You know, we're doing what we can. We just like this show. We're talking about it. What we do is by no means like very serious. We don't take ourselves very seriously. So if you're looking for something way more in depth,
Yes.
go check other channels out there who are doing reviews of the House of Cards, and they get really down to like the bones of the show. We're just chit chatting about
Right.
it. So
Like, this is just two guys having a chit chat, and
yeah.
we're trying to create a room and a forum where people can come join this conversation to learn more about the show, get their frustrations out, get their feelings out, tell us how awesome it is, how bad it is, get theories out. This is what this channel is for. There's a lot of really good in-depth analysis channels out there.
that's
We're
just not us.
Right. We're not that, but we might be one day. We might try to
Yeah.
do it for something. But as of right now, we're just having two guys discussing shows that we like.
Yeah, pretty much. So that said, thanks for sticking around. And
That said, let's get into a deep analysis of the show.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Let me see. I took notes. Let's take a
I
look.
really hope we see Claire looking at the camera again. That was like the highlight of the first 4 seasons for me. At the end of last season, she
Jeez.
just looks at the camera. Yeah,
Okay.
man, that was the coolest part for me, like the coolest moment.
Okay, you brought up Claire. What do you think is going on with her in this episode?
The way she reacts to what's his name, Ken, who told her about Tim.
Right.
And we don't know if Ken is like playing some kind of card, but he's not because Tim is actually, missing. And then she's learned that Tim may have been closer to Frank than she previously thought. And
Yeah, but why does
we
Claire
don't know
care?
if she's jealous. We don't know how she feels about it, but there's something there. And that's very interesting.
Is it because, like, supposedly Francis, like, was deep in love with Tim? Is that why?
I don't know, but I think Tim, we see him in season 1 or 2 when
We
he
do.
goes to his college buddies.
Right. But so why does Claire care? They have more or less an open
I don't know.
relationship.
I don't know. Maybe
And this was even before Claire. Like,
But
I'm
you
like
know
defending Francis
how
for
this
no reason.
episode's been going, like it shows them kind of like, they're a team again. Like even last episode, they're
Right,
like they're
yes.
tight. So maybe they're trying to bring back the nuance of like the romantic thing going on between them, or whatever.
Absolutely.
So maybe we're trying to, as an audience, we're probably just trying to figure out if Frank he doesn't really care about her and
Mm-hmm.
he's just using her or not. vice versa. But now we're thinking it seems like she maybe is not upset, but is really thinking hard about learning about Tim that way.
I agree because like during the same episode, they distanced Tom, right? Tom and Claire are getting slightly distanced a little
Sure.
bit. So, and then she's at the same time kind of at least getting closer to Francis and then hinting at towards maybe she's upset that maybe he loved somebody as much as her, or maybe that was the message. I'm not really sure, but
I don't know. That was interesting though. I think the biggest part in this whole episode though, like the more, what's the word? Like twist in this episode is when Seth is ready to throw Doug
under the bus, right?
under the bus for something
Yeah.
to get information or dirt or do something using that lady I missed that part. I don't know who she's working for that they're trying to take down with that information. And he was like, yeah, I'll give you ugly details on Doug. That means Seth knows about Doug doing these bad things.
Right. Because remember, Doug
I
had
didn't know
his
that-
outbursts in front of him, in front of Seth. Like
Yes,
he almost
but
killed Seth.
Yes, but that's right. I remember that. But Seth doesn't know. Maybe he does, but I don't know. That Doug has, done the dirty work of the president once in a while. At least last time when he killed that girl.
Right. But at the same time, remember, Seth was introduced in this show as the guy who found secrets that nobody else could find.
True.
So maybe he does know something. And like they opened up this whole season with a previously on thing, if I'm not mistaken, about Doug killing that girl. So I assume that's what he's hinting at. And I don't even know if Seth is doing it for the benefit of the administration or Francis's White House. I think he just wants Doug gone so he can take over that position. That's the feeling I got.
I guess so. What would he want that position though? What's his end game? Doug is like really invested in Frank.
Chief of Staff is like the number 2 most position in all of the United States. I mean, maybe not current administration that's in power now, but in the past, it's the Chief of Staff is the gatekeeper. It's the person that gets to decide what the staff of the president does, who gets to see the president, who doesn't get to see the president. It's a pretty damn important role. If Seth is trying to go for that, it makes sense.
They have to be tight, but I don't think Seth wants. I mean, Doug's there because he loves Frank Underwood, right?
Yes.
They have this thing that we don't know about. It's not romantic.
No,
it's
it's
more
just
like
loyalty.
a boss and subordinate.
Right.
Why would Seth want that spot? He definitely doesn't. Maybe he does like Frank Underwood that way, the same way Doug does, or maybe he has some other thing going on. But that's like just kind of dumb theories I'm talking about here.
No, I think I don't know necessarily if those are dumb theories, because like Doug throughout the whole show is shown as a character who's simply trying to be loyal, versus Seth, who is trying to first he was trying to impress, and then he was trying to show a good job and then show that he's worth it. But showing that he's loyal, I don't know if it's ever been a characteristic of Seth. And there's been a couple of times where he's almost tried to like stab either Doug or the president in the back. So loyalty is not his thing. So they're definitely different. Like,
so you don't think he might be doing all this for the actual interest of? Well, I mean, he's doing this for the interest of the Underwoods, but he's still going to throw Doug under the bus, and that can come back to them. So why would he do that?
well, I mean, that's one of the reasons Seth is always such an interesting character every time he's on the screen, because versus everybody else whose motives have been pretty damn clear during the whole show, Seth is always the one that can go either way. He can change his mind. He can do things for reasons that you don't know. So that's why it's good. And we don't know. We don't know why he's doing it. And maybe we'll find out.
Definitely an interesting character. Is right there after Claire Underwood.
Who's your favorite character in the whole show? Do you have one? Is that a fair question to ask?
I really don't have one. Everybody's pretty good. I like the IT guy because he's a good actor. You can sense like the uneasiness he has because he's doing all his like really hacky things.
Do you get frustrated every time he's on the screen? Which I think is a good indication of his acting. But every time he's on the screen, I'm like, just move on. I don't want to know about this dude. Just
And then you
fucking-
notice, like, there's so many moments where, like, he's trying to send a text, doesn't work, finally works, and he's trying to click something off, doesn't work, finally works. It's like, that small amounts of tension here and there. It was interesting. And then at the end, you see Conway losing his temper, I guess,
and as
which was not that well done, if you ask me. I feel like I feel like he's gone, like, the character himself has gone to a place where it's like it doesn't make sense with his, like, put together character to lose his temper for something like that.
right, but maybe he's doing it as part of an act.
Maybe, but he curses and stuff, like, it's not politically correct in a way,
Right.
and he seems like he's a straight shooter kind of like candidate.
One thing that Conway that I didn't like is there was a couple of moments in this episode where they strongly hint at his backstory being a hero. And I wish it wasn't as strongly hinted, because obviously there's going to be a payoff in a couple of episodes coming up.
This was done on purpose,
Right,
because he was like, I don't like when you do that, it's all good, we're friends, and he
Right.
sends him off.
So obviously they're going to
so-
pay it off somehow. Like, it's going to come up and you're going to find out whatever the story was, and then later on you're going to find out the story maybe isn't as true.
Yeah, exactly.
I assume they're going to go that route, but don't lay it so heavy in this episode. That's one thing I didn't like. I was like, man, make it more subtle, so when you do the crazy, reveal next episode or whenever it's going to happen, you're going to be like, aha. But now they were like, a couple of times in this episode, they stopped everything where they're like, just remember, he was a hero. You don't know the story yet. We'll tell you later. I'm like, really?
Yeah, because he loses his temper, and there's, like, a squad of people with, like, military outfits and stuff like that.
Right.
So maybe at the beginning of next episode we see what happens then. I don't know. It's just right now we're just on episode 2. The plot thickens. Not sure where to take it in my head at this point.
Where do you, like, not comparing, but how do you feel about this season's progression versus the other seasons that you've watched?
I think this season so far, to me, the way it looks is better.
Yeah.
The time they spent on the characters, the characters are more interesting, it seems like, in this season. I don't know if it's because of, like, different camera angles or production, but the story itself is, like, way more cloudy than it's been.
Okay.
And
yeah.
it's been pretty cloudy and hard to understand, but, like, to me this is even harder to understand.
No, I think you're right. That's a good way to put it, that it's cloudy, because in the previous seasons, they've made sure that the audience is at the same level as Francis Underwood. Like, a lot of times he shares exactly what he's going to do. But so far in this season, we're, like, one step behind, where Francis reveals later on, aha, that's what I was going to do, and that's why I'm doing it.
Like, something big is about to happen. That means we know that he's onto something, and he's planned something, and it's happening, and we're like, what is it? What was he, I don't remember, but if maybe you do, what was he essentially saying to at the lunch with the governors when he talked to us, the audience? What was he saying? He was explaining what he was doing at the moment, but that kind of escaped my brain right now. I forgot, and I feel like it's really important, because why would he spend that's the longest time he's talked to the audience in the whole series, so it must be maybe very important, maybe not, I don't know, maybe you're looking too much into it as usual.
No, I think it is absolutely important. The problem is, I can explain somewhat, but I don't know the underlying reason. He during that whole sequence, he was doing two things. He was explaining why he's there, so why all the governors are there, which is the governor's lunch, about security, and introducing whatever executive action he's going to do to make it available for military to be present at the voting places. Obviously, he has underlying reasons why he's doing it. So part of that whole monologue was trying to explain the underlying reasons, which is those 5 states and specific counties within those 5 states that are Republican heavy. I got all that. I got that he's doing it, so they conveyed that.
So that's it.
But
Voter
why?
suppression right there.
But why? Voter suppression
because he wants to win, dude.
But voter
it's
suppression.
In 8 days. It's in 8 days. The election's in 8 days. Claire is 100% sure they're going to win, but all these things all these small details have to happen for them to win. So that's part of the plan.
But he's a Democrat. Democrats more or less don't have a history of voter suppression, not because they're great guys and everything. It's just that we're not good at it.
Nima, are we getting political?
No. It's just that Democrats aren't really good at this stuff, and they've never had a reason to because they've been fighting the uphill battle of their own voter suppressions, their voters being suppressed. Yeah, I imagine if they've come into power completely, Democrats would just do the same thing. They would suppress the other side's votes.
All he's trying to do is, get the Congress votes to go to war.
But
I'm not sure why he wants to go to war. I don't know why that's part of. I guess it's part of the plan
to distract.
I guess the Herald, the journal, is still doing they know that investigation is happening, a journalistic one.
Correct.
And so they're trying to. Maybe I thought that at the end of last season, I thought the whole war thing was about distracting the populace from that.
And gaining control
pretty serious.
back. Right.
Yeah, but now he's like really pushing for war, and why? Is there another alternative, purpose for him?
I think it is more or less exactly that cover up. I think the cover up helps him with a lot of things. It stops the distraction. It still puts the president back in a power mode where he is the one to be trusted versus, maybe leaks that are coming out, stories that are coming out. The Herald thing is by no means done. There's going to be episodes coming up that are going to be bombshells about this story, whatever they're going to do. The black character that's he's also working at the place where Seth went to have a drink with that lady, where he told her, "Hey, I have dirt on." He's not working there. He's just meeting people there.
Oh, I thought he was working there.
No, they made it look like
a vest that. Well, that's cool. Either way, he's back. And now he's getting closer to Seth. Right. Something's going on there, and he's already like picking up on stuff because he was, when the TVs were blue with no signal on it, he was like, "Are you serious?"
Right.
And then the president said something on the radio, and that was also, premeditated. And I'm still not sure why any of this is happening. Do you think, season 1 was like, all right, it's happening. We're doing this. Him and Claire. Maybe there's more to him than the presidency of the U.S. Maybe he wants to do something even bigger. And maybe he's like starting with it that way. I don't know. No idea.
One of the things, now that you mentioned that whole scene with the young reporter, which I think he's cool. They're doing really cool things with him. The way they're unraveling his character and introducing him. But that scene with Frank, like addressing the nation via radio, whatever it is, man, I might be too tired. I might be too dumb. I don't understand the logic of the way they showed that. He was doing a radio address via television, but still no video.
No, it might have just been through radio.
Nope, definitely everybody was staring at TVs.
Yeah, but the TVs are blue. He was not.
Exactly. So why do a radio? Maybe it's possible. Maybe I'm missing it. But why do a radio address via TV? And if you're going to do it via TV, just broadcast the damn video.
No, the TVs were off.
And they were not off.
Maybe the TV system. Well, they were.
There was no signal.
The signal was off, but maybe that's just a cable signal. Maybe you can still connect to,
literally not possible. But
in that case, it was through the radio, or it's just very cloudy, and they spend more time on making the season look cool and the characters more interesting, and they are not going to expand on the logic of things happening.
Right. I'm just like I'm sitting there watching that sequence. I'm like, it's a radio address.
Possible?
But I'm sticking to one little detail that doesn't matter at all. And like the two people that are watching our video, eventually they're gonna be like, Nima's an idiot. Who gives a shit? Like there's this one little sequence, but small little things sometimes bother me.
By the way, you look a little blue and white.
It's because my camera settings are set up for night shooting. And this is bright daylight.
You've been pretty
Arizona.
blue and white at night too.
I'm okay. I mean, lights are bouncing off the blue wall behind me, so I'm gonna have
the way
blue light.
You look great right now on Skype.
Oh, those are. I don't even know what I look like on Skype.
You look great on Skype.
I look great all the time in any.
I mean, you look not bad. Well, you look less bad, is what I'm saying, really.
One person came into our show and immediately left us.
It's like, okay, no, none of that.
So, like, this has nothing to do with House of Cards. These guys are just complimenting each other's looks right now.
We should do next episode in the next few days if you can.
Sunday.
Okay.
We don't have a show Sunday.
Good talk.
Why?
No, that's all. No, I'm good to go. That was interesting. I think we covered whatever is on our mind.
It's
too
25
early.
minutes.
It's too early to figure out what they're about to do.
I'm liking this season a lot more.
Because it looks great. It looks great, and the characters are more interesting.
Right. There's been seasons that seemed like fillers where I'm just like
season 3.
Yeah, season 3, where you're like, oh, you're setting up a whole season by another season's slow progression.
Well, the season 3 and the first half of season 4, it only picked up at the end of season 4, and it was amazing.
I love season 4, but this season I'm liking already a lot more than the previous ones. Aside from season 1, which was just brand new television for me. That was just unreal. Totally. But yes, well, this is good. This is 26 minutes.
I remember the first season. It was like you said, it was brand new TV, and it's like, oh, man, I love that. The intro is great. It's like makes you feel weird way every time you watch an episode of season 1. I don't get this right now.
What do you mean?
I'm not into it. I liked it better when they were trying to get to the White House. Then it was more interesting. Now it's like too much. It's like too cliche almost of, it's like they're doing all the cliche things that we've heard politicians do, and, theories of government doing bad things. It's all in this show now.
No, right. Because I think what you're feeling is a real thing that happens all the time in shows that go on for quite a few seasons. Because season 1, it's so structured, and obviously the characters, the way they were made was the way the creators were thinking for season 1. So they had flaws, they had aspirations, a really crazy uphill battle to do something, to become the vice president, to be upset. So first couple of seasons, that's what you're spending time on. You're with these characters for every step of the way, and until he becomes, like, let's say, the president, right? But now he's literally reached the top point of every single one of these battles that he wanted to do. The dude's literally the president of the United States.
Yes.
So they're creating these little fights and these little battles for him that, like, shouldn't really matter, and it's tough to convey that to somebody as an audience member.
Yeah, sure.
When he's already done all the tough things and he became the president, so it's hard to be like,
now it's
one
like
more.
Things should be way more complicated for him, but he has the serenity. And you're like, all right, well, keep it up, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's showing him really comfortable and, like, sure of himself. Because you get that feeling from Frank Underwood. He's, like, sure of himself.
Right. Aside from his health. And this season, they've established that he's definitely not sure about that.
And then maybe they're going to take that and, like, just boom, he's going to have a major loss of some sort.
He's going to die. That's my thinking for this episode.
Is this going to be? Is this season? Is it the last? Is this the last season?
No, I mean no. They haven't said if it's the last season yet. They could easily say we're not renewing it anymore.
Well,
and we don't know how it ends.
Claire becomes president.
Yeah, and the thing is, this show's been out for like 2 weeks already, so people already know the ending. Please don't tell us, because we're doing one episode at a time. Right. So
we have to be careful not to watch anything, but we're gonna have we can't read our comments then.
I mean,
we might have a dick in there just leaving us the spoilers.
What you guys should do is spoil us the wrong way. Like, tell an ending that is not even remotely true. That's what you should do. But
yeah, that'd be awesome, because I kind of want to be surprised.
Dude, let's end it, because
let's end it.
If we can end it right now, we might do it in a show that is exactly 30 minutes. How crazy is that? All right, I'm Nima.
I'm Remy. Thanks for joining, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back in a few days, Sunday, for episode 3.
Yeah,
Bye.
If you like this, you'll be notified if you subscribe right now, which is right there somewhere.
If you hate this, you're definitely going to hate the next one.
Yeah,
bye, everyone.
Don't come back.
Oh, God, definitely. Please come back. Bye.
Well, that was interesting.
Dude, if this turns out to be 30 minutes exact, that would be insane.